Good evening, Fireside. Eric Brandt, Firesiders. Eric Brandt back with you. With the old familiar Fireside up here in mid-Wisconsin. And since this is our 8th Fireside chat, I figured I'd talk a little bit about the number 8 and its significance. There were 8 righteous persons saved from the flood. Noah, his sons, and their wives. There are 8 heavenly signs performed in the Gospel of John. Those of you who are of Jewish faith know the Maccabee brothers and how they made one day worth of oil give enough light for 8 days. And in the Gospel of Luke, most Bible chapters deal with a single miracle. There are 2 miracles performed in chapter 8 of Luke. So, and one last thing with the number 8. I'm reminded that there's good news happening. Is that some states are reopening slowly. There's a lesson behind this. Some states are reopening slowly. So go. But they are not fully reopening. So listen closely, listen carefully, read carefully. To what extent your state is opening. There's a great moment in Apollo 13 where Tom Hanks breaks up an argument between Bill Paxton and Kevin Bacon. He says, "Gentlemen, there are 1,000 things that have to happen on that before then. We are on number 8. To those states that are beginning to reopen, I say to you, there might be 1,000 things that has to happen before you can open fully. Take your time, because for all you know, you might just be on number 8. And lastly, apart from the subject now that we're done with the number 8, but still speaking of those states that are starting to reopen, I'm delighted to hear from some of my old teachers concerning these podcasts. And hearing it from them reminded me of the story. But years ago I was writing with one of my teachers and her family. On one side of me was the recliner handle. And on one other side of me was the emergency brake. And I reached for what I thought was the recliner handle. And my teacher saw this and said, "If you pull that handle, you will bring us to a screeching halt. Well, a lot of us feel that the governor's put the emergency brake on our lives. And I'll say yes, they did. And we're all a lot safer because they did. But for those stations, but for those states that are starting to reopen, maybe we need to pull on our recliner handle, relax a little bit, but listen carefully. Listen carefully, read carefully to what extent your state is open. Don't jump to any conclusions. Before we have to put on that emergency brake again. Thank you.